broadsword calling Danny boy. It's called British Story because it's set in Essex, London, Swansea, Doncaster, Lincoln, Edinburgh, which gives you an excellent excuse to go around the pubs of Britain talking about it. And it covers, it lovingly records British pastimes and hobbies such as football violence, cricket, picnics, dogging, Shakespeare, talking about World War II, etc. Alright, this is a story about a young man called Ian Brown from Doncaster who once came to Lincoln to watch a football match and what happened to him that day. On the train that Saturday lunchtime, Ian and the lads from his work fell in with another bunch in Viking scarves and patches, 30 or so in number. Ian's mate Ray Chalice was among them. He was surprised to see Ian. They were talking about how Bremner was going to take them to the third. Got on to Lincoln supporters. What a mob they were, psychopathic, especially if you'd crossed their western border. They were down on fans from Yorkshire, chip on the shoulder like a 2x4. Everyone knew where Yorkshire was, but no one had ever heard of them. So they made sure visiting fans never forgot them, especially Yorkies. Last season the Blades took a real hiding. The train passed a bridge. One of the lads pointed out some graffiti. "Donny, this is your last chance to run." Stuck in Ian Brown's minds to the end of his days, did that graffiti. Then they could see the cathedral above them on a steep hill, and it was too late to run. The way to the ground from Lincoln Central went round the back streets. They were empty, though all the way Ian Brown felt eyes on them. They were spooked, though they made it to the ground. But they went in the wrong end by mistake, which is where Lincoln's nutters stood. It was called the Clan. The Donny lads didn't enjoy the game because the home fans kept turning around to stare at them. Didn't say much, just turned and stared. They'd hid their scarves, but couldn't do much about the patches. There was a goon in a white boiler suit, black bowler hat, airwear. He stared a lot. Still, they were glad to get out of the Clan without being twatted. Maybe some of them were thinking Lincoln's fans weren't up to much at all. On that walk back through streets without a sign of life, maybe one or two of them were even fancying that they'd gone in and taken City's End. That'd be something to swank about on a Saturday night in Doncaster. But Ian Brown wasn't thinking of swanking about anything. All he would have wanted was to get back and see his girlfriend. Walking through those back streets, the air was heavy, clear, like KY gel, and very, very still. It wasn't normal air, it were like air in dreams. How much further do they have to go? So he asked himself at every step. They came out onto High Street. The streets were that crooked they'd come back a different way from the one they went. At any rate, they're on High Street now, and Lincoln Central just over the way. Then as they were passing the Barbican, someone came down and stood in their road, fronting the lot of them. They were 36 strong, and on his own, he fronted them. The air was still, as when a frost's coming. The traffic sounded way off, but the horizon, it was red as a coal grate, and the low sun bright in their eyes as the man with the shaved head fronted them. He was wearing a flying jacket. Ian couldn't see his face for the sun. All he could hear was the voice. He wasn't a northerner. Told them they would never make the station. His voice, it went up and down like he was talking to kids at the pantomime. Well, you're only 20 yards off, but you will never make the station. I'll pause at that point, it gets heavy after that. Thank you. Meant to buy you a bumper annual of erotica, he murmured to Kennedy, but Natalie was watching.